What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Hardworking Happy Hour. I'm Sean.
And I'm Catherine, and as always, we'll be breaking down all things trades, entrepreneurship, and turning your creativity into a passion career. Good morning, Sean.
Great morning, Catherine. What's happening? How are you?
Oh, I'm so
How
good.
the hell are you doing?
Oh, I'm so good. I'm great.
I'm excellent.
I'm excellent.
Hey, no, I'm excellent. I guess we could both be excellent. It's a beautiful, rainy Friday morning, and
Sure
what could be
is,
better
yeah.
than that? What could be better than that?
Yeah.
What do you got going on?
Oh, God, so much. May is always so busy. Is May busy for you? May is like the busiest month of my year.
I don't know. I never even thought about. You
never thought about busiest month of your year?
No, and I feel like you always think about stuff like that. Like we had this. We were trying to plan stuff in December for work stuff. You're like, December's a busy month for everybody, and I'm like, I never even thought about, like, I don't know. Every day just seems like a chaotic firestorm. So
when you're just in chaos, like.
I've never thought of one month being particularly more busy than the other. Yeah, why? Why do you think that is? Well, you got boat stuff.
Well, yeah, it's busy with work just because it's like ramping up to like summer season, and it does. Mm-hmm. There is some sense of like people want to get outside, and we got to build them stuff for it. So there is that, but also just like personally, there's a lot of stuff like with the boat and with Yacht Club, different duties. Last night I had a board meeting that lasted for an eternity.
Duties.
So there's just lots of duties.
Duties.
Oh, yeah. I think you're about to play like a sound effect for duties or something. Like you're.
No, I don't have one here.
Oh.
It's just a funny word.
Yeah. But anyway, so it just feels very busy. So life feels very chaotic right now. But
yeah,
good because I got a boat and it's in the water. What could we? What do I have to complain about?
I don't know. I guess they say boats are a lot of work. Boats are a lot of work.
Labor
of love. Stuff to take care of. Yeah.
You know what else has a lot? Like a building that was built in 1865 that we have to figure out how to maintain. That takes a lot of work. Not the boat.
Oh yeah.
The club.
Like for the Yacht Club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and last night
you know what you guys should do? Knock it down, build a new one. Something nice and modern.
Historic, my God.
Oh.
But so to the pier.
History.
You have seen the pier of this Yacht Club.
I have.
There's a long walkway. Essentially
Yes.
a giant deck with huge deck boards. And last night at the board meeting, they were like, they need to flip the boards every year. That's the maintenance. That's what
every
we do.
year?
Flip the boards. Yeah. Listen, it's not my call.
Okay.
They do look terrible. They do need to be flipped, but every year they flip them. And they are like, the way that this is fixed to the steel structure, it's like these insanely huge bolts, and it's like. Anyway, it's a huge undertaking, and there's so many bolts, and you can only do it because at certain times in the water, you have to like make sure it's low tide and all this stuff. And they were like, "Who can take on this project of deck board flipping?" And I was like,
"Seems like a logical thing for you. Are you going to do that?"
No, I don't want to. That's what I do for work.
Yeah.
And they kept saying like, they were like, "Well, we have to go underneath the structure." And then someone was like, well, what if we actually, I never thought about this, but what if we sit on the deck and just flip like one board at a time? You just take one board out and then you screw from underneath. And I'm like, yeah, obviously that's the most logical way. Why are we doing it any other way? But I'm just like kind of staying quiet. Like if I speak up, this is going to be my thing. So.
All right. So most people, almost everybody does not know what the Riverdale Yacht Club looks like, but
yes.
the whole how long is this? It's not the whole thing, is it? Like
it's just the walkway is, the pier is concrete, but the walkway out to the pier is wooden planks.
And it's like most of it. It's like pretty long, right? It's like a lot.
Very long. Yeah.
Yeah. They flip them every year. That's insane.
Yeah.
That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Why?
We store boats on it, so they do get pretty beat up. And boats are going up and down it, cars drive on it. Not often are cars driving on it, but they do. But with the boats moving, like essentially at least once or twice a week, there's a lot of like wear and tear on the top of the board. So they do get kind of like scraggly on top. So in an effort to keep them longer, I don't know. And then the discussion last night was like, well, what if we go to composite? What if we do, I heard of these new fiberglass boards. Like, what if we do something like that?
That's insane. That's insane.
Funny.
Why don't they just like maybe seal it every year? That I could get behind. That makes sense. But just flipping them over
on the water would make it too slick. That's what everyone kept saying.
No,
that's what everyone kept saying.
Right, that's crazy. That's crazy. Well,
again, if you speak up, then it becomes your problem. And I was like, I don't know if I want to be in charge of it. So
okay,
I was not. I did a couple of interjections, but I did not do many.
But
it was funny.
That's good. Yeah. So I guess May is a busy month for you. It feels. I guess it does feel busy over here as well, just because. I never really thought about there's seasonality to like things in your life, like just like there's a lot of yard work to be done at my house. There's a lot of we're opening up the pool. There's a bunch of stuff to go along with that. We're gonna be having a child in a couple months. There's all kinds of stuff that Sarah wants me to do for that. So yeah, I guess it is pretty busy right now. I never really thought about it because I'm constantly living in just a tornado of my own chaotic thoughts, I guess. Maybe there are.
I also feel like there's a lot of birthday parties in the spring. Like, I don't know what it is about, whatever happened 9 months ago, but it seems like everyone's birthday is like now. I have like 1,000 birthday parties to go to.
I went to one last weekend.
See?
Yeah, as did you.
I was there.
You were there. You were there.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Well, do you think you can manage it? You think you're going to be all right? Can you continue on?
I think so.
Or is this the part of the Oregon Trail where you just say, you know what? You guys go on without me. I'm going to die of dysentery right here in the Great Plains. What a scary thing that people used to do. Just, hey, I'm going to pack up in a wagon and go west.
Yeah.
Crazy. All right. Well, yeah, we got some exciting stuff to talk about here. We've got something that I have noticed, and I don't know if I'm concerned about this or I am. I mean, part of me is very concerned about it. But as it relates to designing AI, all I'm seeing on Facebook is, and I don't know why it's like strictly, it's mostly on Facebook, but all of these just random pages like woodworker DIY tips and ideas and outdoor decor DIY lovers. Like, there's just a billion of these like random pages that just post a bunch of stuff, and almost every single picture that I see is AI. And there's a couple of things that are pretty crazy about it, I think. Number one, they look pretty real. They look pretty real. They're not at the point yet where they're indistinguishable. And I think at a certain point, they definitely will be indistinguishable from a real photograph. I can definitely pick up on it. And I think most of that might be just from knowing what's plausible to build and what's kind of not. Yeah. So that kind of tips me off a little bit. And they'll have kind of that same look. But a concerning thing is you go to the comments, nobody on Facebook realizes that it's fake. Nobody. Nope. And I just one of the things that concerns me about it is the picture itself. Like, it kind of looks nice. There's like an element of it, like, wow, that's an awesome space. And it's always like these pavilions. I don't know why I'm seeing nothing but pavilions and like a grilling area outside under a pavilion. But then you look at it and it's like, this makes zero sense. Like, where things are placed, where seating is, like everything about like the design element of it, like the function, makes no sense. Yeah. No sense at all. Like, if you just like glance at the picture, it's like, oh my God, that's beautiful. It looks amazing. And then you start really looking at it and it's like, this makes zero sense. Have you seen these? Have you seen these pictures?
Yes. AI obviously is all over the place, and it is so concerning when you read the comments and people are like, what? Like, 100% believing it. And this goes for many things beyond construction. But I am just waiting for the day where someone brings you some sort of photo of like, this is my inspiration photo. And it's some sort of insane AI. Like, renderings are different because that is something that somebody like curated and was like, okay, this will actually work. We can actually build this. But when it comes to AI, like you said, it is always some sort of like pavilion structure that's like,
I don't know,
circular for some reason, or like, just would be insane to build. But yeah, I feel like one of these days, they're gonna bring one of these photos to you and be like, this is what I want. This is my backyard inspo. And then that will be the tipping point.
I feel like that's like gonna happen so soon.
Yeah,
that's gonna happen
100%.
like so soon. People are like, it's typically like Pinterest pictures that people will be like, oh, here's a couple pictures that I saw, and like you can tell it's just like that classic like Pinterest style photo. It's gonna happen so soon where it's just like, here's all my inspiration, and every single one is AI generated, and the function makes absolutely zero sense. And I just think it's concerning to me because like at a certain point there's gonna be a real option for people to like easily input their backyard or whatever space it is into one of these AI services and have it spit out a design, like a design built around their backyard. Not just an inspo picture, but input your backyard and type what you want, and it's going to create something. Mm-hmm. And I think that's when it's going to be like a real huge headache for contractors and designers when people are bringing you stuff like, here's my design. Not only like, here's my inspo, but here's my design. And I love it. Oh my God, look how beautiful it is. And it's just like, this makes zero sense. The function makes zero sense. And I don't know what it is about AI that it can make a picture and a design like very aesthetically pleasing, but it can't understand like the function. And like there's way too many stools in here. Like there's like stools are like a foot across from like, you know, less than a foot away from each other. Or there's what I see all the time is there's this huge pavilion and all of the seating is on the outside of it. Like there's counter space all the way around, and then there's all the seating is on the outside of the pavilion. There's like room for like one person to like grill underneath the pavilion. And it's just like things like that just don't make any sense, and it's really, I don't know, it's just annoying to see. And I know that people are going to start really leaning on this, and there's gonna be a ton of like designers that come out that are like,
oh, for sure,
hey, let me design your backyard, and they just input it into some AI nonsense. And
I mean, I bet that already exists. Like on Fiverr, you probably spend a couple bucks and someone puts it into some sort of generator, and out pops your crappy design.
Yeah, and I just feel like it's a trend, and it's a concerning trend that there's like everything is so fast and not thoughtful. There's just not a lot of thought that goes into things anymore, it seems like nobody wants to put the time and the mental energy into like, everybody wants to just like, oh, AI, put it in ChatGPT and pop right out, and oh my God, it's beautiful.
Yeah,
that's what concerns me, annoys me, frustrates me, and that doesn't even scratch the surface on what's really scary about AI.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It is definitely disruptive technology where like when the iPhone came out, disruptive technology. It has absolutely changed for good and for bad the way that people do things, and it like completely changed the landscape of technology as a whole, and just a lot of things, and how we operate and how we as humans function. And AI is the same way, and it's like, to me, like the iPhone is equally bad and good. Like I wish that I was not tethered to this thing constantly. I wish I was not this reachable, but it is so nice to just be like, what kind of flower is that? I'm gonna Google it. I'm gonna take a picture of it. My phone will tell me. You know, like it is nice to have that, but do I really need it? Probably not. And AI, I feel like there are use cases where it is so helpful and useful, but there are so many bad things about it, like so many bad things. And people just abuse it and don't know how to use it properly, and it's just tricking all these boomers on the internet that, you know.
Oh, they're so gullible. They are so gullible. It's crazy. And that's the other point of it, or the other side of it, is not just like these AI backyard designs and kitchen designs and stuff. It's AI people. The AI people that I've seen recently, like just in the past, not even 6 months, the like steps forward to making it more realistic is so concerning.
Yeah.
It's so concerning, and it's so odd and so, I don't know, just bizarre.
Yeah.
Like, this is not a real person. This person doesn't exist. And it makes you question everything. It's like, what is real anymore? There's nothing. There's no sense of reality.
Yeah. I get it on my Reels feed a lot of stuff about like how to be an influencer and like how to make money online or like doing digital marketing and all those kinds of stuff. And a lot of it is like how to create fake people to then work as like some sort of army of influencers under you. And you click on it and it's like these people who are so clearly not real. Well, you know, to me, I guess a person who can, you know, they're always hot chicks. Let's be real. Always hot chicks. Real. Super hot chicks.
That was going to be my next point. Yeah.
And like to me, I am aware of what a female body is capable of looking like, and it's never like genuine. And the comments are all these dudes that like, I'm like, you look at this person whose mouth is glitching, and you think nothing wrong here. I'm in love with her, actually.
By far, the easiest people to trick are older men. Older men are completely defenseless against this wave of AI. They have no tools in their arsenal to defend themselves.
Yeah,
they're biologically just programmed in a way that they can't identify this technology. And you know, the amount of comments, like, the videos that you see or the pictures that you see, they're like, this is so obviously not a real person. And immediately I just go to the comments and it's just like, oh my God, so you're so beautiful. Wow. Amazing. And it's just like, number one, why do older men feel the need to comment on stuff like that? Like, there's been so many times where, like, especially on Facebook, I'll see something like that. And if you're friends with somebody, it'll show you like your friend's comment. And it's like somebody I know's dad, or like just like,
yeah.
All in all, this is not a great look for you. If you want to look at these fake
the internet is public.
If you want to think that you're, you know, really, I don't know, something's gonna spark here, keep it to yourself. Keep it to yourself, or maybe DM these fake people. But it is just so insane how easily tricked older men are with all kinds of technology.
Yeah. It is wild.
It's crazy. It really is. That's
the best part
concerning.
too is when their voices their AI voice doesn't match up with who the person is. Like the one recently that I got was it was a woman of Asian descent, like middle-aged probably, and she was like, I'm a doctor, blah blah blah, and she sounded like an older man with like a maybe slightly feminine sounding voice, but definitely still a man. And I was like, something about the algorithm here got messed up. But there were still comments on this, like as if this person was a real doctor, and they were really giving, you know, it was probably some sort of weight loss drug or something, and people were like, no red flags here. This is a doctor speaking. You better listen with some respect.
Seems legit as hell. So question. Yeah, obviously, anyone that is a man is you go on Instagram or Facebook, you get all these AI chicks that are just, you know, hot
chicks that want to communicate with you.
They're not even hot chicks. They're hot digital creatures. Right. And so ton of those pop up for me. And then also on the man AI side, it's just like these insanely hulked out like jack dudes that are like, it's insane. Those are the two things that I'll get on my algorithm. Like, that's what men want to see. They want to see hot chicks and like absurdly unrealistically jacked dudes.
Oh, that's funny.
What are you getting on? Are you getting like fake dudes on your or does AI just kind of assume like, we're probably not going to trick any chicks here? Tricks
I don't.
A little harder to trick.
I can't think of any specifically like hot dudes. It's usually like it is hot chicks in some sort of unrealistic way that's trying to sell me something, like some sort of like weight loss drug or like, you know, like, you know, when you go on Amazon and you're like looking at a shirt and it's the same shirt in a different color, but it's like clearly like photoshopped. It's not like, it's like a lot of that. It's like they're trying to sell us something, but like it's clearly not like what you're actually, you know, you're going to get it, and it's like a miniature size of what you actually buy or whatever scam it is. But it's always like but I would say that mine is usually hot chicks as well. I don't really get that many. I can't think of any like sexy shirtless hot dudes that I got on my feed. It's usually just hot chicks who I'm supposed to be like, I want to look like that and buy whatever she's got.
All the shirtless dudes that come up on my feed are obviously designed for other dudes. It's just like hulked out, like just
vascular
like,
and
just like the most insane. Like it just literally looks like the Hulk, but like not green. And that's just like, I guess what the algorithm is like. Men just want to see jack dudes and be like, yeah, that's freaking cool. And yeah, nice hot chick. Cool. Hell yeah. More hot chicks and more just muscular men. Because that's normal and it's cool. Yeah. I don't like the men. I just looking at their jacked bodies. It makes sense that women would just get like, yeah, you guys might be a little bit more evolved, maybe. The AI needs to catch up to like trick you guys more. And maybe just men are an easier target for this AI nonsense. That's probably
Well, I think ultimately it always just comes down to money, and like men are going to spend money on hot chicks or like whatever testosterone supplement that jack dude is trying to sell you. For me, women, I'm like a hot dude. Sure, I'll look at a hot dude, but I'm not really buying anything from him. It's a hot chick being like, you can also be hot. That's where women spend their money. So
yeah, that's true.
It all comes down to the cheddar.
Oh yeah, it's not all about the cheddar, but with AI, it might be all about the cheddar. That's essentially the problem. AI doesn't know that it's not all about the cheddar.
It's just a little bit about the cheddar sometimes.
It's just partially about the cheddar, but the AI thinks it's all about the cheddar, and that might be our downfall. So those are the things that are concerning me about AI, and I just think it's gonna, as people are like trying to realize how to use it, I feel like this is like the most, maybe not the most problematic, because there's a lot of problematic things that come from AI in the future. Obviously, like just like robots taking over and killing all of humanity, but like right now it's just like an annoying, like weird time in AI where I think it's gonna affect a lot of people's like expectations around renovation projects, and it's just weird, and keep my eye on it. And I hope it finds a better purpose or something, or a more beneficial use case. That's what I got on that. So, what do you got?
Yeah, I don't love it, but I think it's here to stay. So it's kind of one of those things you gotta learn to live with it.
Learn to live with it. Yeah. And
I just will continue to tell my parents that clip you saw, not real.
It's not real. It's not real. It's so funny. Sarah's dad yesterday was like, oh, did you see the thing I posted on Facebook? And it was like something about a dog, and I was like, nah, I didn't. I don't. I try not to scroll around there too much, but let me guess. I trusted you. All I ever wanted was for you to love me, and all I gave you was everything I had. My love. Like those like generic like pictures of like a dog, and it's like I said it in a better way. It was just like, I could write these things. These are like the things that boomers share. Like, yeah. Anyway. All right. Well, is that enough on AI for right now?
Yeah. Terrifying.
We'll keep you guys updated.
I like maybe building a full AI backyard is a little bit lofty and would be probably just end up being a huge pain in the ass because it is so unrealistic. But
yeah,
I feel like maybe if we like, maybe we input a picture of one of our backyards that we've already built, and we say, stage this for us, or like design this like. Or design a piece of furniture that could go in there, and then we build that, or we stage it in the way that it tells us to, or something. Like maybe we play around with it like that, just to see what it does.
Yeah. Okay, so this seems like I'm flip flopping here, but I have inputted like a bunch of text prompts before into ChatGPT to generate an image of like I did it with pergola, and it was like generate an image of a pergola that is unlike anything I've seen before, but is modern in design and is actually possible to build. And like I put all these parameters in it, and the things that it spit out were actually like kind of cool. Kind of like really cool. And then I did a couple where it was like, took out that part of make sure it's like actually plausible to build, and it came up with some really crazy ones that were like really sick. And obviously everything's possible. It's possible to build everything, but these ones would be insanely more difficult. But in that way, I think it's like maybe a brainstorming tool. As long as you know like what you're working with, I think it's the tricking, not even tricking. It's just like people don't realize that it's AI and they just take it at face value. If you know that it's AI and you're using it as a brainstorming tool or a kind of an initial idea generator, like then it can be very useful and interesting and just like to see what it puts out in front of you. You know, maybe it can be a baseline of an idea to work off of for a design. But I think that would be really cool. That was an idea I had like when I was messing with that. Like we had AI design this pergola or something, then we try to build it. You know, something like that would be just fun to do, interesting, and you know, I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, for us, I bet at some, well, other than like the stamp of it all, but I feel like it has access to like codes and best building practices. So we could probably put our designs in there and it could spit out some plans. I bet that's probably in the future.
I think so. I think that would be awesome. That would be a cool use case for it. So, hey, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
TBD. We'll see.
TBD. Cool pergolas and hot chicks. AI. AI for president. All right. What else? What else you got? You got anything else you want to dive into? I got some other notes here. Oh, God. That wasn't a real crowd.
Oh, God, it might have been. I'm not sure.
That's how I feel. I feel like I'm on fire. Fight of the week. Fight of the week. All right.
You want to start?
I'll give. You know what? I'll preface it with saying there's always going to be confrontation. There's always going to be disagreement.
Do you think other people do this as often as we do?
Probably not. But the one thing that that I appreciate and I think is very healthy and productive is just being willing to openly communicate. When you're disgruntled. The other day I got a call on my way home from someone who should remain nameless. It was Catherine saying, "Hey, you on the ride home right now?" And I was like, "Yes, I am." All right, let's hear it. I knew it was coming.
What do you got?
Hey, are you by yourself on your ride home right now?
Well, I didn't want to do it while you were at work. That would have been rude.
That would have been rude. But I appreciate the open communication. Not everyone is going to be like completely thrilled with what everyone else does around you at all times. So the worst thing that you can do is just not say anything. I'll also preface it with sometimes it's good to hold it in for a little bit.
Keep it to yourself.
Sometimes it's good to keep it to yourself for a bit. Like, you don't want to just be like completely open where it's like, what did you just say? You just pissed me off right now. And then like, you know, you want to like sit on it for a little bit, collect your thoughts, and then come forward with something that is, you know, thoughtful.
Yeah, so a tangible thought. It's you shouldn't really react in some sort of, you know, inappropriate way in the moment. Sit on it for a second, think about it.
You don't want to let it linger forever, but you also, I mean, you don't want to just like lash out instantly. You want to think about it, be thoughtful about it, especially.
Are you saying that I did lash out instantly?
No. I think you thought about it.
Yeah,
I think you thought about it.
Okay.
So now you go. Your turn.
Yeah. So anyway, but this is going to be just a little chit chat about like managerial styles and communication styles. So I don't want to get into the nitty gritty of it because it would be very boring. What?
No,
I don't know why, but I have this like paranoia that you keep looking like you're about to do like some sort of sound effect or something. Not paranoia because it doesn't matter, but like you look like you're getting ready to do some sort of sound effect. Anyway.
No.
Okay.
My sound effects are over here. I was reaching over here to my mug.
Sorry.
Sound effects are over here.
So at work, I am in charge of the photos and the photography. And when we go to take the final photos of our projects. Sean flies the drone. I take the pictures. And then I edit all of the photos for our finished photography. We took photos of this last project that we did, but there was several issues with them. Some mechanical, some just not good enough lighting, and things were dirty, and it just wasn't up to Premier Outdoor Living standards. And I voiced that, and I felt second guessed on my opinion, and I did not care for that. I did not like to be I don't know how to word this. And in this case, I was working from home, and Sean
you can
was
curse
at
if you
work.
want. Feel free to curse at me during this.
No,
yeah.
But anyway, I said that like there were some issues with the resolution of the photos. It was something that we couldn't really fix. It was, when you get printed in magazines and stuff, the resolution of the photos needs to be a certain way.
Whoa, low-key flex.
I mean, whatever. I've been
subtle flex there. All right.
Our photography has been featured in many magazines. Anyway, if you're going to use it for publications or anything, really, the resolution needs to be really high, really good, professional quality in order for these people to use it. So you want to make sure that all of your photos are like really just clean, have a good batch of really solid photography. The settings on the drone got a little messed up, so the photos themselves were not high enough quality to be used for our finished photography. The deck boards were all dirty, and obviously we're trying to show that off. So I was like, this ain't it. I can Photoshop to a certain extent, but at a certain extent, like, we should have clean deck boards. I shouldn't, I shouldn't be AIing fake deck boards, because that's not what we do at Premier Outdoor Living. And the lighting was not. It was too harsh, and it wasn't good in some areas. So I brought that to the table. I said, hey, these aren't good enough. We need to do this again. Take this as a lesson learned. We got to go back. We got to take better photos. Yeah. Because I was not with Sean, he did not believe me. And he said, let me take a look at it. Let's see if Steve can take a look at it. Let's see what we can do here. We got to, we might be able to work with these. Let's see what we can do. And I said, no, I am saying that these are not good enough. We have to redo them. So, I think we've talked before about like micromanaging and all that kind of stuff. And it's usually a joke. Sean is very, very good to us as a manager, but there are certain things, and no one likes to feel micromanaged. So in that moment, I brought it to the table and I said, Sean, well, not at that moment. Several moments later, when Sean was on his ride home, I called Sean.
Sean, are you by yourself?
Sean, I need to talk to you.
Are you by yourself? I'm going to yell at you. I don't want to embarrass you, but I will yell at you.
Yeah. So I said, it's a creative thing, and this is like my creative stamp is on these photos, and I do not want to sign. I don't want to just make something good enough. I want to produce something that is high quality and that I can be proud of. I don't want to produce a crappy photo and then have to send this everywhere, and people be like, this isn't good enough. And I'll be like, yeah, I know it wasn't. I said it wasn't, but I had to do what I had to do. Yeah. So in that moment, I was like, the photography is my thing. I want the photography to be top tier. It's something that I'm proud of. I don't want to be not believed when I say it's not good enough. I think if I say it's not good enough, that should be taken at face value. And we got in a big fight about it.
It wasn't. I wouldn't say it was a big fight. I'd say it was medium size. It was medium
on the scale
size.
of our fights. It was actually quite small.
Really? No, I think it was medium, if anything. Usually there's a lot of very small bickering, and mostly that's like joking just for fun. This was a real fight. This was a real, not even a fight. This was a real, I don't know, not even disagreement. Just a problematic interaction between two coworkers that needed to be resolved and brought up. So,
and in the moment, it was just kind of like a bit of feedback, because different managers have different styles, and like, I understood where you're coming from, because you just were like, I don't want to do this again. If there's a way to fix it, let's try that. So I do understand that. But for me, I am like I'm a professional. I know it is literally my profession. I know these things, and you can't be in charge of every single little thing in this business, and that's why you have hired other people. So to me, it's like, okay. And I didn't bring it to you in a way that I was asking for help. If I was like, hey, can you help me look at this? Like, then obviously, yeah. But to me, I was like, I have spent all day looking at these photos. I have done my best. I have tried my best. I have tried to make it work. I am telling you, this isn't going to work.
And to be fair, you've never come to me asking for help, so.
No, that's got to be like maybe one time or something.
Maybe one time. Like, hey, can you hand me that? I remember you've probably done that before. No, and like different managers have different philosophies about this, and I do understand where you were coming from, but to me it was just like I would like to be believed in my workplace. You know, like I have a professional opinion about this. I would like to just, yeah. Now let's make a plan on how we're going to fix it, because this is not, Yeah. I mean, it was just wasting time to go and, let's have Steve see if he can fix it. Maybe Sean can fix it. And I was like, you guys don't do, like, I'm the one that knows the most about photography. Do I know the most about photography? No, but on this team I do, so. Yeah. And, okay, so the whole situation, we went and we took the pictures, and the ones that were super high resolution and were great were the ones that Catherine took on her phone. Or not on her phone, on her camera.
Not my phone, my camera.
On her camera. The drone pictures, there was something a little bit up with them. And there's a couple different facets to this. Number one, we do our ending YouTube video of the whole project, the time lapse of it. And that is something we do on every project, and it's something that we wanted to upload this weekend. So I was kind of looking at it as, there's two different standards here. Like, there are photos that we need that are super, super high resolution, that are clear, that we don't have to do a lot of Photoshop. Like, we realized after we had hosed down the deck and it had dried, and then we took pictures, there were like dog footprints and stuff in certain areas where it was like, you can mess with some of those things, but you start messing with it too much and it doesn't even look like a deck board anymore. It just kind of looks like washed out if there's too much of that. If it's one isolated spot, super easy. You can get that, but when it's just kind of like a bunch of little footprints, it's really hard to doctor that. So, that I totally understood, but I think that they're, for our finished YouTube video, it's going to be, the picture itself looks great. Like when it just like flashes in front of you, it's like, oh my God, this looks awesome. Looks super cool. And the photos are only on the screen for like 4 seconds at a time. There's some movement to it. So I kind of thought, all right, for the YouTube video, these photos are going to work. They still look great. We can do a lot with this, but we're going to have to retake them for the, like those real portfolio shots. So that I took your word at, and then it was just kind of frustrating because, you're mostly working from home right now because we don't have any internet or service at the job that we're working at. So even talking on the phone is like almost impossible. So like we're trying to hash out what's, like it's 1970. It's so infuriating. I get so mad because it's just like, I can't hear you, and I try to scream and nobody can still hear me. So it's like so frustrating to even just figure out what the hell is happening. I can't see it. I like to see all the pictures right in front of me. Usually you're right there. I like working like that. So it was just like a frustrating thing. Obviously, I'm super pumped up. Like, I want to release this because I'm excited about it. We just took the photos. It looks awesome. There are some problems with the photos to a certain extent, but that's neither here nor there. The thing that's super important is that you felt like I didn't take your word for it, that I was like second guessing you and, was like, oh, you can't do it. So let me make somebody else. Let me have somebody else do it because obviously you're not capable of this. Let me hand it off to somebody else like Steve. So I totally got where you were coming from, and I'm probably not the best leader. I don't know what I'm doing with most things.
Stop talking
related
like that. Yes,
leadership. No, I don't though. I really don't. I'm just freestyling it. I'm trying my best.
So is everybody else.
I'm learning as I go.
You're being too self-deprecating. You know a lot of things and you're good at a lot of things.
I'm good at some things and I'm not good at a lot of things. But one thing that I will say I think I try to be good at is receiving feedback. I want you to always feel like, all right, you're pissed off. You can bring that to me and I will accept it. And I'm not going to blow up on you and be like, oh, really? Well, you suck. And this is why I'm pissed off. Like, I could tell when you called, I could tell immediately. It was like, okay, let me listen to this. And I try to accept it. And I want to always feel like you feel comfortable to call me, pull me aside, talk to me about whatever's bothering you, because I know that I am not I don't know everything about leadership. I don't know everything about running a business. I don't know a lot of things about a lot of things, but I do want it to feel like an open place where if you have a concern or if you feel like slighted in any way, that you can just come to me and tell me about it, and I'm going to accept it. And there might be certain things that maybe I'll push back on a little bit if I feel that is just how I feel about it. But I want it to be an open place, and I think that that's super important. And I think that is how you stop things from like festering and creating a whole bunch of resentment and a whole bunch of just like low morale. Is just by like letting it fester for a long time. So
100%.
I'm very appreciative of your feedback on it and your openness and willing to talk about it. And I think that that's how we all get better. I think it's how the company moves forward. I think it's how we just have like, a good working relationship. And I think that that is something that we're both fairly good at, is just being willing to have a somewhat difficult conversation. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like most of the time I would say that we fight, it's like in a joking way, and we'll like those are the times that we'll like yell and maybe curse at each other a little bit, but we know it's like, all right, there's some truth here, but like no one really feels like that bad about it. I could tell when you called, it was like these were things you had thought out. You had really like kind of had like, look, this is my piece that I want to say. I could tell that you had thought it over. And so in those moments, I try to really accept it and try to get better from it.
Yeah.
So I'm really appreciative of the open communication, and that's the only thing that's going to like everyone's going to have disagreements. Every boss is going to be an asshole sometimes. Every employee is going to piss off the boss sometimes. Like it's just going to happen. And when you work together for a long time, but if you don't like communicate it when you really do feel slighted or upset about something, those like little things just add up, and it creates like an environment of resentment, and everybody's just like kind of pissed off. And then when you haven't brought up any of these things over a long period of time, it's just like you don't even really know like what is the thing that you're pissed off about. It's just like, this person's an asshole, I hate this person, they're a bad boss, they're a bad employee, whatever it is, because it's just like these micro things that keep happening that nobody has talked about. So I appreciate that very much. And I always try to be an open door to tell me how much I suck. And I'll say, you know what? Joke's on you. I already know that I suck at these things. So nothing new over here. No, I'm kidding to an extent, but I know that I'm not the best leader. I know that I'm not like perfect in that way. So it allows me to take feedback and grow from it.
Yeah.
When you think that you know it all, that's when you're going to be closed off to improvement.
Yeah. And I feel like obviously communication is so important. And if I didn't think there was a resolution to my issue on the other end of that communication, then I would just,
quit.
I would keep it to myself and take my work time to look for other jobs. But, I personally, I said I was upset about a situation and I brought it to you. I told you about it. We talked about it. The next day we kind of were joking about it.
Yeah.
And I felt better. Like I don't hold any resentment towards you. Like I feel like, we worked through it. Now I'm on the other side of it and I feel better. And now we're, back to normal and joking and talking and stuff. So
absolutely,
to me, it's always just better to whatever you're unhappy about, even if it's just a frustration where there is no like like, I just need to let you know I'm frustrated. Like,
yeah,
you know, like, it just feels better to just get it off rather than just be like, all right, whatever. No, nothing's wrong. Nothing's wrong. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I'm acting so weird, but I'm fine.
Yeah.
There's like nothing worse than that. And then you have to just silently like be around someone and you're like, okay, well, are they mad at me? Are they mad at their family? They're mad at that guy that cut them off this morning? I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah.
That's not, you know. So
it's
I
not,
just feel like
not
it's
a
good.
healthy, yeah.
You know, it's good that we talk about what is bothering us, and then we have a public forum to tell other people about what's bothering us.
Yeah.
And then they don't have to, you know, maybe they can internalize that a little bit and think, oh.
Wow, yeah, I'm an asshole just like Sean.
I'm just...
I'm a shitty boss just like Sean is. There you go. No, I'm just kidding. It's good that we can joke about this stuff.
Yes.
And
communication is great.
And communicate about it because, these things are going to happen. And, you know, like before the conversation and after the conversation, like my amount of resentment towards you has gone down significantly.
Marginally?
So, marginally, I would say. No, I'm just kidding, obviously. But, you know, that's something I appreciate the feedback, and just the open discourse that I feel like we can have. And I try to really take it, collect my thoughts on it, and then, you know, it can lead to a bigger discussion later if need be, or, you know, you can squash it right there in the moment. But I try to be open to feedback, constructive criticism, because I could use it. My God knows I could use it. But trying my best here. And
oh God, aren't we all?
You're doing a great job,
Sean. You're doing a great job as well.
Good job.
Everybody's doing a great job.
Everyone's doing a fine job. Everyone's doing the best that they can. So
except for that camera, because it didn't take very good pictures.
I know. It wasn't the camera's fault. It was the guy flying the drone. The guy's an idiot.
Well, no, you tried.
He doesn't even have his drone pilot license. What does he know? I was trying my best.
You were trying your best, and you were trying to fix the situation, and it just was the wrong way, which is fine. We all make mistakes. It's not the end of the world. We can go back and take photos.
Yeah. So, moral of the story: communication is important. Whenever you are in close proximity with somebody, whether it's at work, at home, anywhere, you're going to get pissed off at that person over the course of time.
And
so
it's
when
okay.
you do,
don't take it personally, and bring it up, and be open to feedback and constructive criticism. And I feel like don't take it personally is like the key thing, because you can get mad at me and tell me all these things that I don't think that you hate me because you say these things. I think, oh, okay. You know, that was a blind spot for me. I wasn't aware of it. I'll work on that, you know?
Yeah.
I think not taking things personally is really important.
I agree. All right. Well, that's our fight of the week. And at the end of 12 rounds, we're both winners.
There we go.
How about that?
All right. Well, rounds are in boxing? That would take forever.
I'm honestly not sure. I think it might be, but honestly, I'm not totally sure. So, all right. Well, let's get into what's next, and that is 3 rounds of the most intense construction trivia that's out there. So, this is where we can duke it out here. This is where we get our frustration out. You suck at construction trivia. I'm going to beat you. All right. Who wants to go first? You want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So we've talked about on the podcast consolidation of, supply chain and all these kind of things within the industry. It's been happening for a while. You had Home Depot buy SRS Distribution, all that kind of stuff. Another huge domino to fall was Beacon Building Products getting bought by QXO. Do you know QXO, by the way?
I don't know.
You don't know QXO. QXO also owns XPO. I'm sure you know.
Oh, I know XPO.
Yeah.
They're one of my tenants.
Exactly.
Back
Logistics company. Yeah. So this is a long way to get to the question, but I think that's something we can touch on later, because I think it's super interesting. This isn't like a building product company buying a distributor. It's a logistics company, so they're like super tech based on kind of making the supply chain a lot more efficient and everything, and using all this kind of stuff. So it's gonna be really interesting how they handle a building products distribution company like Beacon, which is a really big company. So my question for you is, Beacon Building Products, it was just sold for $11 billion to QXO, and Beacon Building Products has over 900 locations.
What's the question?
True or false? They have
True or false? Do they
locations.
have over 900 locations?
True or false? True or false? Beacon Building Products has over 900 locations.
I'm gonna go false.
You're absolutely right. And I probably should have made it a little bit more realistic, but they have over 650 locations. So it's
more than I
a
thought.
huge operation. I think it's going to be an interesting thing to see how it plays out. So good job. You're 1 for 1.
XPO was a great tenant.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, yeah, they were. Oh yeah, my turn now. Okay. I don't know if you heard yesterday.
Side note.
Okay.
A little context. Have you ever heard us say on the job site when, things aren't going well and we're behind, that we're 26 cans in the hole?
Yes.
That comes from XPO, believe it or not. One time, they were supposed to deliver us a product, and it was taking forever, so I just called them and said, hey, I know that this is in Cinnaminson at your place. Can I just come pick it up? And they were like, sure. So I went and picked it up, and that's when the guy said, it's crazy in here. We're 26 cans in the hole. It meant they were 26 cans behind. And I went in there, and it was like just a complete free-for-all. They were just like, yeah, your thing's in this truck over here. It's at that loading dock. You can just like go in and unload it. And so I was just like in there unloading it by myself. It was like the most bizarre thing, but hopefully they get that figured out, because it didn't seem like they had the logistics figured out. But that's where when we say we're 26 cans in the hole, it comes from XPO. So
Interesting.
All right, go ahead.
Well, he was paid the rent on time, so I liked him. Anywho, I don't know if you heard, we got a new pope.
Yeah.
A new pope. And the papal conclave happens in the Sistine Chapel.
Yes.
True or false? The Sistine Chapel is equipped with incredibly thick walls because it was also used as for defense purposes whenever it was built in the 15th century or whatever. True or false?
True.
True, yeah.
Yeah, that just makes sense. You want to, protect all those little possible popes.
Yeah. Yeah, the Sistine Chapel, I'm not Catholic, so I didn't really know anything about this. The little chimney that the smoke comes out of, it's just like a little vent. I thought it was like a chimney with smoke. It's just like a tiny little tube. Did you see it?
No, I didn't.
Oh.
No, I didn't.
Gotta say, a bit underwhelmed. I thought it was going to be this beautiful thing. Anyway.
Yeah. All right, one for one, both 1 for 1. All right. All right. Ready for your next question here?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. What is ASTM number 8 stone? You know how we have ASTM 7s, we got number 9s, we got all different types of stone. Yeah. ASTM number 8 stone. Is it 3/4 clean stone? Is it 3/4 modified, meaning 3/4 down to stone dust? 1/4 inch clean stone, or 1 to 2 inch clean stone?
This is
Tough one, Concrete Kathy.
Not only do we not call them by their numbers, we
Nope.
I think that's like a New York thing. They're always doing it. Oh, you got your 7s.
It's the most random thing. Like, how many New York stone people do you talk to? Probably not that many.
Oh God, so many.
That was just an absurd comment. I think it's more like engineers will refer to it as the
no, the
ASTM.
people. I feel like when we went to that thing in New York, they were all calling it by their. Or it might have been like the manufacturer, but
yeah.
They were
all
definitely.
Right.
Calling
Hey, stop
it
stalling
okay,
here.
Anyway,
stop stalling
all
here.
right. I guess. What was the last one? Did you say 1 to 2?
1 to 2, yeah.
And what was C?
1/4 inch.
I guess I'll go 3/4 modified.
That's wrong. That is wrong. It's 1/4 inch clean stone. 3/4 inch modified, I don't know what that is. 3/4
Yeah.
clean stone is ASTM 57 stone. We usually use for our setting bed ASTM number 9 stone, which is like a 3/8 clean stone. And I just found a place that has 1/4 inch clean stone, so we're going to try that on our next project. Which,
Oh, okay.
a little bit more homogeneous. No, still same amount of homogeneity, but
Amazing word, really.
It's closer to almost like a sand setting bed, but it has all the benefits of the clean stone base. So, yeah, ASTM number 8 is 1/4 inch clean stone.
Okay. Yeah. Ooh, bad.
Ugh, bad luck for you, Concrete Kathy. Concrete Kathy didn't go to no rock school or nothing. You know, she just knows.
I just.
Hey, put this stuff in front of me, and I'll show you how to put it on the ground. Okay, I don't need to know all this fancy engineering stuff. Okay. That's my Concrete Kathy impersonation.
I just know the stones when I feel. Oh, no.
Yep.
Anyway.
Just go away from that one. I just know the stones when I feel them. All right.
Anywho,
Moving on.
the phenomena of alkali-silica reaction can significantly compromise the long-term durability of concrete structures. What of the following factors is the primary contributor to the occurrence and severity of ASR? Do you know? Are you aware of ASR?
This is like the most like ChatGPT generated question I've ever heard.
It
but
is.
Go ahead.
I used AI. I wanted to stay on topic.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, but do you know what the ASR is? For real?
What is it? Alkaline what?
Alkali-silica reaction.
Okay.
It's what it happened recently where, like, I think it was in New York, like they were using it to pour foundations and then like thousands of people's houses were compromised. You know what I'm
All
talking
right. No, just get to the question. Get
about?
to the
All right,
question.
I thought you would knew that. Sorry. Okay.
No, it's okay.
What is the primary contributing factor?
I don't know
to
all
the
that
severity?
New York masonry stuff.
You
like
gotta be
you
in
know
the
what I'm saying?
masonry tip. My God, that's where I'm at.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
at. A, the use of high water cement ratios in the concrete mix. B, the presence of excessive calcium chloride as an admixture. C, the interaction between the certain reactive silica materials in the aggregate and the alkaline pore solutions within the concrete. Do you understand that one?
Sure.
And D, the lack of proper curing procedures. So it's either high water content, high calcium chloride, the reaction between the silica and the alkaline solutions in the concrete, or lack of proper curing methods.
All right, I don't think it's lack of proper curing methods. The third one sounds like it would be it, because like you just used the words that are in the thing and then kind of put them together into a sentence. But I'm gonna say, I think it is probably all right. So I think it's what happened to one of our concrete countertops. I think it's B, too much calcium chloride.
Oh, no, that is incorrect. You were correct that it's C, which...
Dang it!
But why do you think that... Why do you think it was calcium chloride in our countertop?
I'm not sure exactly if that's what it was, but it was an admixture that we used that, I guess shouldn't have been. Remember we made that countertop and then, like, deformed it the next day and it was just, like, powder, basically?
Yeah. I do remember that.
We used that flow control stuff. So.
The flow control.
The flow control. All right. So we're both 1 for 1. All right. Last question here. This is something that's not used generally, probably as much anymore, but still might be. We've used kind of modifications of this, improvised on the job site before, but. In your own words, what is a plumb bob?
What is a plumb bob? Is when you put something at the end of the string to find plumb. I mean, and then you hang it.
That's right. Great job. That all right. Yeah,
I don't know how else to describe that. You put something that's a weight at the end of a string, and then you hold it to find bombs.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Great job. I don't know. It's like, it's probably more of an old school thing. Now everybody's got a laser for everything. People don't use that as much. But great job. Great construction knowledge.
As of with anything, it comes back to sailing, because when you're trying to find the angle of sailing, you have to use a plumb bob to find your angle.
Oh, damn it. I didn't know it was also a sailing thing. All right. What do you got? I got to tie it up here.
Okay. I think this one's going to be a gimme.
All right, what do you got?
Railroad ties and utility poles are both commonly treated with the same chemical compound. I don't need the chemical like the formal chemical compound. What is it treated with? What are utility poles and railroad ties treated with?
Creosote?
Correct!
All right. I feel like you asked me that last week.
Last week?
I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe I just have such an extensive knowledge that it feels like everything is so fresh on my mind.
Maybe.
All right. Tied it up again. Oh, my God. Very anticlimactic, but hey, that's all right. Well,
I just can't believe it. When we started this, I really thought at least one of us would pull away into some sort of lead that was never going to, but we just consistently tie, which is
good. And we're all learning, so we're all winning. Is actually what's happening. So, and that's what happens when you collaborate and you have open communication. Everybody wins because there's only a couple outcomes. There is, you have a problem, you talk about it, you still disagree, and maybe you go your separate ways. Win-win for everybody. Or you have a problem, you talk about it, bring it out into the light, and everybody gets better and improves and understands each other better. So no matter what, it's a good thing to communicate. If you're a boss and you want to communicate to your employees, if you have something that continually comes up, communicate that to them. There's going to be two things that happen. They change, they get better, they give you some sort of counterpoint that you hadn't thought of, or it's just not going to work and you let them go. Same thing if you're an employee. If you bring up certain things to your boss and you have problems with things and it's an ongoing thing and it's frustrating you, bring it up. Open communication. They're either going to be an accepting person of that feedback, or they're going to get defensive. They're going to come back at you, and it's probably not a place you want to work. So there's nothing really bad that can happen from being an open communicator. It might feel difficult in the moment. It's uncomfortable sometimes to have some of these conversations, but ultimately it's the right thing to do. It's the only productive thing to do, and it's the only way that you are going to keep resentment at bay, because I think that is a killer of more relationships than anything, whether it's a working relationship, it's a romantic relationship, it's a family relationship. Resentment is going to kill that faster than anything else. And I shouldn't even say faster, because it's usually a very slow death when you build up resentment and you just don't even know what it's from anymore. It's just all these things have compounded over the years. And at that point, it's too much to overcome. Why are you laughing? That is serious stuff I'm talking about here. And it's pretty deep. So
it's just pretty deep.
Do you have a counter to that?
No, it just sounded like you were really getting into something personal there.
It wasn't personal at all. It is to an extent.
Sometimes with your family, you resent them.
Oh my God, my family has just gone through tons of stuff like that. But it's true. Anyway. It's true.
I agree. I completely agree.
Don't let this stuff build up, because nothing good is going to come from it. So
it's not going to go away just because you've shoved it down into the depths of your soul.
No, it can go away for a while, but it'll rear its head again. So that's what we got for this week. Work on your communication, people. Realize that you don't know everything. Realize that you always have room for improvement, and be accepting of that constructive feedback from people that you respect around you. Don't just accept it from anybody, but receive it from the people that you respect and you believe have good intentions in mind. So that's what I got for this week. You got anything else that you want to sign off with here, or are we all good?
I think you covered it all. Did a great job.
Thank you so much. I appreciate how you communicated that to me.
Sean, you're doing a great job.
Oh, my God. Wow,
and now you get to go spend the rest of the day watching golf. How lucky are you?
Pretty lucky, yeah. We'll talk
we
about
didn't
that
talk about
next week. Yep. All right, well, till next time, this has been the Hardworking Happy Hour.
See you next week.